games and to have games like this and to have a couple of these games slip away. These are very teachable moments. These are lessons that these guys are going to learn that they're going to carry forward as the season goes along.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly a competitive series, and we mentioned Gio Urshela after that.
Didn't think I was going to make a video tonight.
To put the Twins ahead, it came time for the ninth, and this competitive Cleveland Ball Club four runs on the board. It all started with Josh Naylor RBI double.
Yeah, it just comes down to how.
Remember last night? Remember how fucking ridiculous and embarrassing and unforgivable last night was when they, had a late lead, blew it, and then looked like assholes in extra innings and lost to Cleveland and fell out of first place by percentage points. That was just the fucking warm-up act. I should have made a fucking checklist. Where do I even start on this one? I guess I'll start with the final. The Twins lose again. They lost 11-10. 11-10. And this is a game that they led 5-1 in like the fifth inning, and they led 10-7 in what, the eighth? Well, I mean, going to the ninth, they were up 10-7. But they just find a way. It's a cliche that good teams find a way to win, bad teams find a way to lose. Twins are pulling off an old timer here. And it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like I'm disgusted, but I'm also just I'm kind of just enjoying the train wreck.
We've seen the leap they've been able to make in the standings throughout the last.
Because this is just I feel like I said everything that needed to be said last night. And maybe some people would find this video that didn't see the other one. We'll go watch the previous one that'd be on my channel playlist there, because what more can we're up 5-1. Got a couple Correa home runs. We're actually manufacturing. We've manufactured what we did. We did a fucking squeeze bunt to get a run. Sonny Gray had to come out early, kind of early, because he was kind of getting gassed. That's a whole other thing, is we've lost these two games, and we had Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray, who are supposed to be our top two pitchers, and I don't think, and really don't think either of these losses are on them at all. But these games were lost with other pitchers, but then they just start picking away at us. I don't even remember who was the first guy out of the pen. Thielbar, I think, and then Joe Smith, and then Cotton comes in, and Cotton, I think the first fucking batter he faced, he gives up a home run. It's hard to remember all the particulars. Like becomes, we're up 5-1, then it's 5-4. I think Kepler then hit a home run, give us a little cushion again. But then they come back and get, I think it was off Cotton. They get a few runs and take the lead. We managed to get it tied up. Gio Urshela hits a 3-run home run into the bullpen. That should be enough. That should be enough. That should be more than enough. I mean, you shouldn't have to score 10 runs to be able to win a game, but you did score 10 runs, so that should be enough. And they put Pagan out there. Pagan was the one who gave it up last night. He goes out there for the 8th, pitches like the best inning that he's pitched in a Twins uniform, probably. But then, because it's Rocco, and he can never leave well enough alone. He's always got to tempt fate. He puts Pagan right back out there. I mean, I don't even know how many times Pagan has gone 2 innings this year. Not many. And it's just instantaneous. Like, he gives it up. I think they have like 4 straight hits. start the inning, then they get another run. You know, I think they might have gotten that last run off of Jax. They put Jax in, but like it's and you can make the case that we don't have talent in the bullpen, and I don't think that's the wrong take. Yeah, I don't want to hear from the Twins manager. Fuck Rock. The only thing I want to hear from Rocco Baldelli is this fucking resignation. I'm so sick of this fucking idiot.
Tomorrow morning, basically, to get ready for. But
I mean, this is like not even like the main story, but
it's not a fun one.
look,
It's not an easy one. You know,
these games matter. These games matter more because they're division against a division team that you're going to be competing with theoretically. I don't think they're going to be competing with anybody into September, but you know, you sit Buxton, like fuck off, fucking play the guy. You literally had a day off on Monday. Yeah, he played last night. Fucking play him in these games that matter. You want to give him a day, an extra day off. Give him a day off when you're playing the Rockies this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
It all comes from the top here. They don't treat these games like they matter. They don't treat an individual game like it matters. And guess what? These individual games add up to 162 games, and these games matter. And these last two matter more because it's against a hot team in your division that's now completely overtaking you. You're not even mathematically tied for first place anymore. You are officially out of first place. You can't even get back into first place if you manage to somehow win tomorrow in the final game of the series. But they're a train wreck. I mean, they're making them.
When you lose a game like this, sometimes
At least tonight they had some ability to hit the ball.
Our lineup had a good day.
They had some hits. They manufactured some runs, but then the fucking bullpen blows it. Like, again, and
I mean, we did a lot, put a lot of runs on the board.
fuck, we got to play these guys 5 times next week in their building. They're gonna fucking slaughter the Twins. This is just it's going from bad to worse. Rocco's just a terrible fucking leader. No game. You lose a game in this fashion, it's not on one person, but he's such a fucking terrible leader. It's just unbelievable. Even the fucking ninth inning. You're taking a risk, fine. You want to at some point maybe you got to take a risk and try something. But you have to have a guy ready. But no, they don't have a guy ready. They just leave Pagan out there until the damage is done.
Naylor, but one of the balls we probably can make a play on, and we don't.
And they're making stupid plays. They, was it Gordon botched a ball in center? They had a pickoff throw that went wide that scored a run.
They're making some stuff happen on the other side of the field when they need it, and everything they could do, they're doing wrong. You can just tell,
these aren't playoff games, but they're games that have more pressure, and this team cannot handle the fucking pressure. They don't know what they're fucking doing. I mean, I said all this shit last night. I already said it. I already said so much. This team just does not have it. They don't have it. They're not a contender. I no longer even think that I don't even think that they can even like hang around in contention for the duration. I think they need to just accept the reality. I mean, we know they're not going to go trade. I'm seeing stuff out there in the media the last couple of days, like, oh, the Twins got to go out and trade for bullpen help or maybe a starter. They're not going to do shit because this fucking franchise never does shit in the middle of the season to add to teams. They don't do anything. They never make an impact trade in the middle of a season. Not since Shannon Stewart, and that was like 20 years ago. And that wasn't even a trade deadline deal, but they're not going to do shit. They're not going to add anybody. Not anybody who's going to matter. They'll add like a fifth starter maybe, or they'll add a sixth inning reliever. They're not going to add anybody. They're not going to do shit because they're not going to. For one thing, they're not going to outbid these other teams that are going to all be wanting, whatever players are available. All these other contenders are going to want these same players, and we're not going to outbid anybody. We're not going to make a financial investment. We're not going to do shit because they just don't fucking care. This franchise just doesn't. They just don't fucking care. They don't care about winning World Series. They just don't. I'm so fucking glad that I was old enough to experience 87 and 91. Young kid, perfect age for those seasons. I am so glad. One of the few lucky breaks in my life. It's like that I was around and able to experience those two and enjoy them, because they're never going to happen again. Because not under this ownership, the fucking Pohlad family will never win a World Series because they don't want to. They don't give a shit. They won't invest in this team. Of course, even talk about like the financial investment. Cleveland's got a minuscule payroll compared to even to the Twins. I mean, Cleveland's got they got one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, but they're figuring it out because they're actually led by people who know what the fuck they're doing. They have a good organization. They have a really good manager. I don't know a lot of these players. Not much was expected of Cleveland this year, but they're playing their asses off. And they're much. They look. In these games, they look like the team that's the aggressor. They look like the team that's got the experience, that's got the intangibles. I think I talked about it in the other video. It's just the intangibles. The Twins just don't have it. It's a disaster. You can make the case that they just don't have the firepower in the bullpen. But they're not going to have the firepower in their bullpen. I mean, I know they've had some guys who have been hurt. There's some guys like Alcala and Kalum and Stashak. They're guys who they were expecting to be in the bullpen, and they're not. Boo fucking who. Every team deals with this shit. Every team deals with injuries. Other teams are able to, figure it out. Not every team, because obviously there are other bad teams, but Twins don't figure it out. I mean, how many fucking guys have come out of this bullpen this year in total? We've got to have about 20 guys who have made relief appearances in total so far. And most of them just aren't good. Where are the reinforcements? Where is the fucking the whole reason we fucking hired these guys for the front to run the team is because they were supposed to be really good at identifying and developing pitching. But where the fuck are these guys? We've got Duran, who we traded for, and we've got some a couple young pitchers like Joe Ryan, who we traded for. Where are these fucking guys? Like, Cleveland's just throwing out really good reliever after really good reliever. Where is that for us? Why don't we ever get that? We were supposed to get that. We were promised that with these front office guys, and we don't get it. And instead we're relying on like Caleb Thielbar, who was like fucking he was pitching for the St. Paul Saints, and not the current St. Paul Saints, the independent league St. Paul Saints a couple years ago. And waiver claim guys, and the fucking Pagan, like, oh my god, like, if it wasn't already, like, it's just getting worse and worse. That Taylor Rogers trade that's just getting worse and worse. I'm not sure what I don't check every day on Taylor Rogers, but that dude might be an all-star this year. Probably will be. I think at least at one point he was leading the league in saves. And they get rid of him on the eve of the season for a crappy relief pitcher who has, even when he's been good, even when he's had like saves this year, he almost fucking blows it. And a guy, who goes out for an 8th inning, I'm sorry, maybe he isn't used to pitching 2 innings. Well, boo fucking who? Be a goddamn professional and go out there and pitch 2 innings. Like, this was a must-win game. It really was. And this fucking asshole goes out there for a 2nd inning and just pisses down his leg and just gives it up immediately. Like, it's not even like there's drama involved. It's just hit constantly. And before you know it, it's like in a blur, a 10-7 lead is gone.
That was also his 2nd of the season. Well, 1 runner on for Gio Urshela.
I mean, it's at least I heard some fucking boos. You could really hear the boos after a couple of these fucking things tonight. The fans are fed up. Like, the people, I hear, people ripping the fans for not packing the ballpark for, the first place team when they were first place team. Like, oh, we're drawing, 20,000, and why are we drawing more fans? Because this team isn't good, and this team has not done shit for this fan base for years. Like, we've had a couple of nice regular seasons. Who gives a shit at this point? It's been 20 fucking years since they've done anything in the playoffs. Like, that's a generation of Twins fans who have seen nothing from this team. If you're like a 25-year-old Twins fan, you don't have a conscious memory of this team ever doing anything. And it just drains your fan base. It's drained me. I'm checked out. I'm sorry. I'm not emotionally invested in the Twins anymore. I can get disgusted by him and stuff, but like, there's been no payoff for the Twins fan base for so long. And I'm not even saying like you have to win a World Series for there to be a payoff, but do something.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we build the SUV of the future for everyone.
You do shit like you go sign Correa, but then you trade away your all-star closer for nothing. Like, it's like they don't even know what they're doing, and you do nothing really to fix the bullpen. And there's some guys who they were counting on who are hurt, but you knew that was going to happen anyway. I don't think even if all these guys were healthy, they would have, a strong bullpen. And if Rocco's not going to let starters go, I still can't fucking believe he let Dylan Bundy go 8 innings the other day. Like, I was shocked he let Joe Ryan go 6, or at least into the 6th last night. But they just like I said, I don't know, they just don't have it. This is just like, you can keep repeating like the apologist bullshit, like, oh, it's just June, it's just a game, it's just a series, there's a lot of season left, blah 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 blah. There's injuries, maybe guys will come back, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. Just stop. This is just not a good team, and they're not gonna be a contender for the duration. I don't have it. Even after the debacle last night, I still thought, well, they're still probably gonna be hanging around. No, they're done, because Cleveland is gonna wipe the floor with them in Cleveland next week. We're still gonna play the White Sox. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in 3rd place by the All-Star break, and it's just going to get worse from there. And they're going to spend July fielding offers, and they better just trade. Don't trade to add to this team. What are you doing? This team needs more help than you can give them in any trades. And even if you get bullpen arms, Rocco is going to mismanage them because he's a fucking idiot who doesn't know, he never makes the right decision. Even if like on paper it might be the right decision, it becomes the wrong decision when Rocco Baldelli does it. This is just how it is. Maybe if this team absolutely craters this season, maybe that can get Rocco the fuck out of here, but probably not. But this was absolute horseshit tonight, losing this game, blowing multiple leads the way they did. You scored 10 runs at home, in a game coming off, one of your most crushing losses of the year, in a game that could put you back into first place, make you feel good about yourselves again, and you fuck it up in epic fashion. And you don't even, this isn't even like that Yankee, some people mentioned the Yankee game from a couple years ago where it was like 15-13 or some shit like that. This isn't that. This is just a okay Cleveland team, plucky Cleveland team, and they embarrassed you, and they humiliated you on your home field and got your fans to turn against you. And I hope it happens more. I hope the fans turn against this franchise, because this franchise continues to operate from this position of just such arrogance. They think they're something more than they are. What they are is a franchise that has done nothing for their fan base for 20 years. And even that was just, hey, we got to an ALCS. They've done nothing. They're always content to just be, well, if we're a little bit of a contender, maybe we can win a bad division and get the playoffs, and we can sell some Homer hankies and everyone can feel happy about it. But then, we'll get our asses handed to us in the playoffs, but we can't talk about that. I mean, we've had so many seasons that maybe the regular season was fun, but then it was completely shit on in the playoffs by either an embarrassing sweep or just a series loss or whatever. And I just don't think they get it. Like the fact that I don't know what the attendance was for this one, but I mean, even like last night, they're in like the low 20s, like middle of summer, or not middle of summer, but sort of middle of summer. First place showdown series, and you're drawing like low 20s. Like, I don't think people care about this team. I don't think they really care. I've noticed how few views I get when I even do a Twins video compared to like a Vikings video. I mean, obviously that's maybe not a good comparison because the Vikings are kings of this town, but I don't think people care that much about the Twins in this town, and there's a reason for it. It's because they haven't done shit for literally decades, and there's no end in sight, because people have caught on, and they understand that this is just not, this is not a team that is going to win a title or make a deep playoff run. If they, at this exact moment, they're still in a wild card spot. And guess who they'd play if the playoffs started again today? The Yankees. That would be a best of 3 in which we would lose in 2. Like, don't even show up. But like, people get it that this isn't going to get any better. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassing franchise. It's like, I can't look away because it's baseball and they're the team in town, but they're such a fucking embarrassment. Year in, year out. Led by an empty vessel of a manager who doesn't know what he's doing, but who thinks he's a fucking genius because he's Mr. Analytics. I mean, how many times things blow up in his face? I think they're really going to start to plummet now. I mean, they've been like below 500 as a for like about a month now, and it's going to just get worse because it doesn't even if they win the last game against Cleveland here and maybe win a series against Colorado. They've just been exposed every time the lights are on this team, and they are in a series that is looked at as kind of big. They just blow it. Like even that Yankee series a couple weeks ago, they just blow it. They have a chance and they blow it because they just don't have it. They just don't have whatever that intangible is that can win you big games. They don't have it, and they're not going to have it, and they're never going to have it. And I am so glad that I was rooting for 87 to 91 because they will never, at least under this ownership, they will never contend for or win a World Series again. Never.